Russell Westbrook has become the go-to scapegoat for the Los Angeles Lakers' disappointing season. Westbrook isn't the only one to blame for the Lakers' struggles. Injuries have limited LeBron James and Anthony Davis to 56 and 37 games respectively. Kendrick Nunn, whom the Lakers signed with a $5 million of their taxpayer mid-level exception, has been out the entire season. A number of their veteran minimum signings haven't panned out as expected either. But the most significant share of the blame for the pie goes to Lakers decision makers who traded their championship level depth for Westbrook, a questionable fit with a $47 million player option for next season. With so much invested in him, James and Davis, they rounded out their roster with minimum players and didn't value Alex Caruso enough to justify the expense of keeping him. The Lakers went from a poor shooting two-star team with a defensive identity to an ill-fitting, worse shooting three-star team with no defensive identity. Although Davis's eventual return could help propel them to a surprisingly deep playoff run this season, but it appears likely to end in disappointment. So, what is the solution the Lakers have, or what can they do? Honestly, none predicted Westbrook would decline his $47 million option for next season. Instead, a buyout could be a possibility. In theory, the Lakers could look to waive and stretch Westbrook's remaining salary post-buyout over 3 seasons anywhere between $12 and $14 million a year. However, the Lakers are finally getting out of the $5 million a year it has paid Luol Deng since waiving him in 2018. So why on earth would the team want to eat up more than twice that figure for the next 3 seasons? The answers may hinge on James' willingness to sign a 2-year extension this summer to stay in Los Angeles through the 2024-2025 season. The Lakers would have to go off a verbal commitment since James won't be eligible until August the 4th. That may be enough, even though Davis can opt out after the 2023-2024 season. Over that span, the Lakers do not project to have significant cap space with James and Davis. Stretching Westbrook's salary would probably incur tax-related restrictions from 2023 to 2025. But getting the roster back to contention is the immediate issue. Does subtracting Westbrook and bringing back nearly the same team make the Lakers a contender? Can the Lakers instead find a team to take on Westbrook's salary in a trade, and at what cost? A lot of those questions will be asked with the Lakers front office this offseason. Who around the league isn't aware of LA's pressure to take care of James, Davis, and a fan base that expects titles? None of the sources like the Westbrook acquisition in August. That opinion hasn't changed much this March. If the Lakers show a willingness to waive and stretch Westbrook, a move that is better than just trading him and 2 first or 4 non-impact players, they may regain some leverage. But Los Angeles will face a real uphill battle trying to find a team willing to give up value while also taking on Westbrook's salary. The return is more likely to be underperforming players on expensive contracts. The alternative is keeping Westbrook, perhaps with the hope that a coaching change will unlock the roster's potential next season. Many around the league expect the Lakers to have a new face on the bench next year. Given how poorly Westbrook fits and how difficult the season has been for all parties, a divorce in some fashion seems inevitable.